We've all seen it 1,000 times. A farm boy looking out at a sunset. A lonely orphan discovers a secret lineage. Or a cubicle worker discovers that the world is a simulation. The Chosen One. One of the oldest tools in the writer's toolbox. But some think that the tool is a bit blunt these days. People say they're tired of it. They call it lazy. They call it unearned. And yet, many of the most popular works of fiction, including ones that are still coming out, use the Chosen One. So why the discrepancy? Well, people don't actually hate the Chosen One. What they really hate is passive protagonists. Characters who feel like passengers in their own story. I think it really is the biggest sin of a Chosen One story is to make them a passive protagonist, where destiny really is the only thing driving the plot forward. When that happens, the character stops being a person and starts being nothing more than a talking plot point. It also removes stakes. If the hero is only going to win because a prophecy said they would, the stakes disappear. A character with no agency has no soul. To make a Chosen One work, they need to make choices. Choices that go along with their destiny and ones that clash with their destiny. I think one of the most important keys to a good Chosen One is that destiny should be a burden that character has to carry. It's not a magic carpet that just carries them off to the finish line. I think a good Chosen One character never wants the job in the first place. If a character is excited to be a savior, it can make them come off as arrogant or shallow or even demented. Most people don't really understand that feeling. It takes special people, firefighters, people that choose to take on very difficult, dangerous jobs to kind of get into that mindset. Most of us find it easier to resonate with the reluctant hero. We also need to consider the question of why were they chosen? The bad way really is things like special blood or just having a high power level, something that they didn't really work for, or at the very least, something that they haven't resisted in some way or had to struggle with. There needs to be conflict with the character in order to make the Chosen One work. The good way is because their trauma, their flaws, or their moral compass makes them the only person who can do the job that needs to be done. Or even because the villain made them the hero. Or in some way they are forced to continue. Consider Randall Thor from The Wheel of Time. He starts off not wanting anything to do with his destiny, not understanding what his destiny is. It isn't until later that he discovers that he's the dragon reborn, and then starts experiencing all the terrible things that go along with that. Now let's look a little bit at a failure. Maybe I'm picking on a recent case, but Rey from the newer Star Wars movies. She's often criticized, and I have done this myself, as a Mary Sue, and admittedly, like so many other terms, Mary Sue is overused, but I feel that the central aspects of that critique are valid. She is written like fanfic. You know, she has the problem of just instantly being good at everything. She's a better pilot than Han Solo. She outfights a trained Sith apprentice without any training. Nothing. There's no clear why she's even involved. Basically, for 2.5 movies, we don't have any idea why she's even there. The Force just picked her for some reason. Probably one of the worst aspects and one of the biggest Mary Sue alert triggers, if you want to call it that, is that all of the legacy characters just love her instantly. Han Solo, you expect to be the the uh, the old rogue that he is, to be suspicious of everyone. He's not. She has no friction with the world around her. She just floats through, it seems like. So by the time we get to the big reveal in the third movie, it feels like a band-aid on a massive, gaping plot hole. It's because she was too perfect. She had no clear motive. She felt like a visitor in someone else's franchise rather than a character driving the story. Like a character that actually belonged in the story. Now let's look at a different character, a good chosen one, Harry Potter. Harry is an orphan, abused, isolated. He is the chosen one of the story, but he is not perfect. He can be moody. He struggles with friendships in school. He's often saved by his friends. But one of the things that makes a Harry Potter kind of a brilliant chosen one is that we learn towards the end of the series that Voldemort chose him. Yes, there's a prophecy, but it could have been applied to two different people, Harry or Neville. Voldemort chose Harry. By attacking him, Voldemort marked him as his equal. Harry's destiny, it isn't just magical law or because there's a prophecy. It's a direct result of the villain's paranoia. As for Harry himself, his motive isn't just, I want to save the world. His motive is that Voldemort murdered his parents, murdered people that he cared about, other people, and his minions, the Death Eaters. He wants to kill his friends and other people that he cares about. The stakes are incredibly personal. Then you can look at another one that's a good example and kind of a deconstruction. Paul Atreides from Dune. He is a chosen one, but he actually knows he's the chosen one. And he discovers that being the chosen one is actually kind of a trap. He wasn't chosen by destiny or any mysterious forces, but by a political organization, the Bene Gesserit, who had spent centuries cultivating these myths and legends in order to make him. Paul doesn't want to lead a holy war, but it seems like every choice he makes leads him closer to it. This sort of turns the entire idea of the chosen one on its head. He's not chosen to save everyone. He's chosen for something nefarious. And he can't seem to get away from it. His destiny isn't a gift, it's a tragedy. So, how can you write better chosen characters? First off, give them a reason to do what they're doing other than because of the prophecy or the destiny or whatever. It doesn't have to be a good reason. It can be revenge, it can be guilt, maybe just an overinflated sense of obligation. It can be for love. But they need to have a reason. You can consider Frodo from Lord of the Rings. At first, you could say that destiny is just kind of dragging him along because the ring came to him through no fault of his own. But once they get to the council, he chooses to continue the journey. He chooses to become the chosen one. Why? Because he's addicted to the ring. Number two, being the chosen one should not make someone immune to making mistakes or being a bad person at times. Let them fail. Let them be a jerk. 3, give the villain a vote. Let the antagonist be the one who reinforces the hero's path. Let the antagonist antagonize the protagonist and actually give them reasons to want to be the chosen one. The chosen one isn't a dead trope, a bad trope. It just needs good writing, as do all tropes. And that comes from making sure that they feel like a complete person who has reasons and has agency in the story. Thank you very much for watching. More resources in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. All the good YouTube stuff. And I'll see you on the next one.